I don't think that women should vote or should be drafted.
Ooh,
so I would remove the responsibility arc from women when it comes to voting and when it comes to being drafted. I think that the military is far better with women in support roles. I think that law enforcement is far better with women in support roles and not in primary roles. So no, I completely disagree. I would eliminate the draft for women, but I'd also eliminate some other things like voting and some other things like that.
I got to tell you just one critical position that a woman played in Afghanistan in the middle of a war zone in a way that a man could never. And that is during the day in many villages in Afghanistan, the men go away to work, which leaves behind villages full of women and kids by themselves. Okay.
Just
and
like
what happens is you need a woman to go into those spaces in the middle of a war zone to go have conversations with those women for intel purposes, General McChrystal, winning hearts and minds, you name it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's religious reasons that men cannot speak to those women. You need women that can be on the front lines. You need women to do those jobs.
So that's still a support role.
It is not.
It is.
My friend, it is not. I was part of an 8-woman female engagement team. I promise you, nothing about my job was a support role.
So let me ask you a question, like an honest question. Are the standards in the United States Army for women and their physical readiness and fitness less than that of men in combat roles?
Okay, so believe me, I've been debating this since I was 17 years old. I'm happy to talk to you about this. Yes, to answer your question. Hold on, wait.
I just want to finish this one point.
Okay.
Is there a single female Navy SEAL?
Yeah, there is actually.
I thought there was one female ranger. Is
there a female
there's
SEAL? Multiple female rangers as well.
I wasn't aware that there was a female
Kristen
SEAL.
Greist is one of them.
She's a female Navy SEAL?
I wasn't worried about a SEAL, but I know about a ranger.
Oh, no. Sorry, I cannot name any off the top of my head, but that is not because there's not. There definitely is.
I don't think there's a single female Navy SEAL that's actually gone through basic underwater demolition school and passed it.
Okay, well, hold on a second, because now we're getting into women even being allowed to even try. Okay,
because they're allowed to try.
Okay, but I know the dates and timelines on this shit. So 2016 was the first year women were even allowed to even attempt to go into those roles. And I was actually one of those first women that even went to go through the schools for it. When I went through OCS, I was going through OCS with the intent to become one of the first female infantry officers. Okay, it took me asking 8 years in a row to even go to air assault school. Okay, and I got denied. I was multiple things in the military, but I was in for 16 years. But what's really, really important is I asked for 8 years to go, and I met not just meet the physical requirements. The physical requirements are on a scale of 0 to 300. I not only maxed it at 300 on the women's scale, which I'll give you that, but I went over that, and I met what the 18-year-old males were doing. I was running 2 miles in 12 minutes, which is 6-minute miles. That's pretty fucking fast, okay? And I did that as a very, very capable, qualified female. I still wasn't allowed to go to air assault school. Here's the reason why. You're a girl. You'll never make it through. For 8 years, I got told that. And finally, on the 8th year, I made it through. So I just want to tell you, I fully agree with women being held to the same standard as male. But yes, we do have physical differences. That does not mean in today's age that we can't fight the same way.
Let me ask you a logical question. The United States military was separated by men and women, and there was an internal conflict, an internal war where half of the Army went against the other half. They had the same resources, same everything. One half was women, one half was men. Which one would win overwhelmingly?
So, sorry, can you say that question one more time?
Yeah. Let's assume we split the Army in half, gave them exactly the same resources, exactly the same manpower, exactly the same tanks, jets, air support, everything.
The men would probably win.
Men on one side, women on the other. Who wins?
I don't know, because there's been some amazing.
You don't know.
Come on,
the men would probably.
Amy, Lieutenant, you do know.
And that's when the cognitive dissonance comes in.
I'm sorry, I disagree. There's some incredible women leading strategic battles right now today.
I agree.
Today, in fact, the Navy is led by a woman today.
I agree, but
the chief of staff.
Right, but my point is,
and it goes down.
There aren't enough.
Keep going down the ranks.
Right, but by comparatively, there aren't enough of
hand-to-hand combat. Men would win.
Okay, right, but there aren't enough like female tank commanders that went to NTS. And
we didn't get the opportunity to even go.
But that's okay, right? But that's the point is there aren't enough women to where you'd be able to pull that
up.
Well, let's just take it to the next level. Let's assume there was, and it was totally equalized. The force was equalized as far as you had all the same resources, the exact number of women to men, the exact same amount of technology. You still think women would even have a chance?
Absolutely, they have a chance.
Well,
so
that's when the cognitive dissonance gets to the
let me
point
give a
where I just
I mean,
disconnect.
we went to the moon because of a woman.
No, we did not go to the moon because of a woman.
There was
Math, that's
women-
ridiculous.
No.
It's the most ridiculous
It's not
shit.
ridiculous
Where
at
did-
all.
Okay,
It's
so
not ridiculous
this
at
is
all.
this is kind of my wheelhouse. What specifically are you talking about? We went to the moon because of a woman. What specifically do you want?
The
chick did
whole
the math.
bunch of mathematicians that were behind that.
So there was an office of astrodynamics,
Yeah,
if
and
you
this
will.
is where you're losing me.
Yeah,
Andrew.
no,
You don't
no,
need to
hold
make
on,
fun.
listen,
You can
listen.
educate me. You don't need to make fun.
There were 600,000 people that worked on Gemini.
Of course.
And 98% of them were men.
But again,
Yes.
because
Right.
men would not let women go
Correct.
into the positions that they
Correct.
rightfully deserve to go
we didn't
into.
land on the moon because of specifically because of a woman. Now, there were some like calculations that had to be redone, especially like during Apollo 13. And yes, in that offense of the women were literally called calculators. That's what the name of them were. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. I'm not trying to disparage them because obviously I'm a big fan of anybody who did that in the moon landing. But the reality of the situation is it wasn't the majority. It wasn't even 1%.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
And I probably overgeneralized when I said that. But I'm just saying, like, and by the way, I was the first person on this show to say that I definitely agree that we need men and men are amazing and all of these other things. Like, so I just want to clarify, I'm not like pulling some like
But you was also
feminism
the first
movement.
person that disagreed when I said that women need guidance. And this further proves my point, right? Because women tend to prioritize, you got your prioritizations messed up. You tend to prioritize what's good instead of what's best, right? So this conversation that we're having, you're saying that, well, women can do this. Well, women can do this. They can be good. You said that, well, yeah, you lifted or did something and you met a standard that an 18-year-old met, right? An 18-year-old boy. Well, okay,
When
good.
I was a 17-year-old
okay, great,
girl,
but that's
yeah.
good. But that's not what's best to do. And men just happen to be better at the job. Not only that, let me ask you all the questions. Show of hands real quick, right? So are y'all pro-women? Who's pro-women?
Absolutely.
Anyone pro-women?
I love women.
Pro-women?
Women are
pro-
great.
women are great.
Pro-women.
Yeah,
And we
but
would
not
all agree.
feminists.
The males would agree with this. So, but it's kind of funny how can you be pro-woman, but you would want a woman to go into a war zone and risk everything? Risk everything. That doesn't even make sense.
You're
That's
pro-woman,
very
she has the right to
nonsensical.
do it. You're saying pro-woman, you're advocating for her, to supporting her in whatever decision she makes. That's how we're
And now
pro-women.
you're bringing up
Yeah,
rights.
Yeah, now
and
you're
that's-
bringing up rights, and that's an entirely
saying
different conversation with
supporting
men
her.
grant
A
rights.
decision. I'm saying strictly a
That's right.
decision. You're supporting a decision. That's being pro-woman.
Yeah,
I'm not
no,
talking
no.
about legalities.
Yeah,
I'm talking about pro-woman.
okay, so pro-woman so they can go into a war zone and get their head blown off. That's
If
very
that's what they
nonsensical.
choose
I mean,
to
I
do.
literally
So you
did
would
that.
want women to choose something that would
I didn't
kill
say I want them to. I said you are support. You asked who supports women.
No, but this is what
That
I'm
is the
saying. You
support.
have to be able to differentiate things. You're saying that you are pro-woman, but then you want women to enlist into the military. It makes no sense. How can you be pro-woman?
No,
you
I
want to
disagree.
protect women.
I disagree with you there, my friend, because like I absolutely think women should serve a minimum of 2 years, like many other countries do. There's so many incredible essential roles that could be that they could fulfill.
But
through
those countries' fighting
professions.
forces are underwhelming in comparison to our volunteer force. And our volunteer force is mostly of 18 to 23-year-old males. And they are extremely skilled at their jobs.
And so are the women.
They're also very physically fit. This is the big
So
thing.
are the women.
If you have tanks and tanks are in a big fight with each other,
I have to
right?
disagree with you on the mostly of physically
So
fit.
are the
I
women.
completely disagree with you. They're
They're far
force
more
is getting,
physically fit than
than
they're
women.
far more physically fit than the females who are in the military. Yes.
There are a lot of
Across the
shitbag
board.
men,
Wait a second.
too.
We weren't talking about genders just a
There are
second
lot
ago.
of-
No, I was actually bringing this back to say, let's just say you had tanks, just, I don't know, 2,000 tanks on both sides, an all-female versus all-male army.
Who's to
Just,
say my tank can't blow your tank?
yeah,
right
okay,
out?
hang on, let me finish.
Yeah.
I'll blow your tank out.
I
Yeah,
agree with
okay,
you.
I get it.
Then
You
you're
blow the
gone.
tank up.
But
Who's
a
going to
man
lift
built
up
the
the
tank.
big,
You haven't been in the
heavy-ass
military,
shell?
Yeah, a
I
man
actually
built the
think
tank.
that all the women
Who's going to
here
lift the
could-
big, heavy-ass
Me.
shell?
It's not
Me.
that
Can you
heavy.
lift something
And you're going to
Wait,
take
so,
lift
real
the
quick.
heavy-ass shell.
Can I-
I have.
Wait, time out. Stop. Amy, the issue is while I understand your argument, you're making the argument from like you're basically Shaquille O'Neal telling us to all be tall. Like
Right.
you're so far outside the norm. Congratulations. I'm not saying that's bad, but you
Yeah,
understand
the
most
exception
women
to the rule.
Not really, because all
most women are
women
not
have
going to be
a
able to do
standardized
what
test
it is
to
that you were
pass
able to
in
do.
order to be in the
Going back to what
military.
you said before, there's been thousands of SEAL candidates. There have been 18 women to go through SEAL training, and one in 2001 made it through. And because of that, her identity is classified.
Okay, one.
One. Now, I guarantee you, if I met her,
There's
I'd be able to
more
tell which
than
one it
one.
was. I guarantee you, if I saw her, but you went through fucking. I guarantee you, if I met her, I'd be like, "You're the one. You're the fucking SEAL."
But
Yeah.
my point is like even just doing the grind maintenance requirements for like let's put this tread back on while we're in the field. Let's carry these really heavy shells up this hill by the 100. all of those are also physical requirements of soldiers. And while you may be an exception to the rule, generally speaking, men are going to be far better suited for that role.
I guarantee you I can lift
would,
more than you can.
Which means that ultimately, even if you could, what the fuck would that have to do with anything?
Because you're making a general statement that a
because
man
we're
can
talking
do it,
about a general statement.
But I know, but you're saying just because a man, you suck, literally,
Okay.
like from head to toe.
Great argument.
Like I guarantee you I can lift more than you.
Is it? I got another super chat here. I want to know if this is true. Rusty Fuel says Israel tried using women in combat, but they stopped because they took too many casualties.
They were killing it. I was following that story for a while. They were really doing an amazing job.
In Israel?
Can we talk about a statistic real quick?
Okay. Yeah.
So we're talking about like having the same resources, men
Ukraine.
versus women, right? So like we have tanks on this side and then men have tanks on this side. So the average ASVAB score for a man is 47. The average ASVAB score for a woman is 50.
It's true.
So we are
yeah.
technically smarter.
I was a recruiter for 6
It's not
years.
that. Can be more strategic.
Time out. What you're doing is you're selecting for a select few group of women who, do you understand, most women don't have the audacity to join the military in the fucking first place.
Yeah.
It's about 8% of women.
Oh, you're talking about
Talking about the end of the curve.
So this is the result. The result is smarter, more assertive women will then want to join the military, and that's why you're going to get that. Of course, like the thing is also the standards as far as ASVAB scores. If you want to be an 11 Bravo, no offense, guys, I love you guys.
Lowest
I love
score,
you guys.
lowest score.
But 11 Bravos, you don't have to have a fucking high score because
Yeah.
you carry a rucksack and a fucking M4. That's the reason why. So that
just to elaborate on my point before that I made, right? I said that are you pro women? And the guys, of course, raise their hands as we should because we are pro women. But some women raise their hands that they are pro women, but then also had disagreements with the super chat. So think about it. I would say that men are more pro women than women are because we are looking to protect you. You argued and said choice, right? So now you're looking at we got to differentiate the two. So choice, you said, well, we want women to have choice. Well, I'm saying that men, we protect women, right? So let me ask you a question. Do you have a kid?
No.
You don't have a kid. Let's say if you did have a kid, right? You birthed this kid you had this kid in your belly for 9 months. You took this kid through, elementary school, and now they're in middle school. Throughout those years that you've raised that child, right? What would you be prioritizing? Their choice or protecting them from their bad choices?
When they are of an age where they can't make a decision for themselves and they can't fend for themselves, I think it's pretty obvious that you're making their choices for them.
But no.
I feel
That's
like
not
you're
my question. Let me rephrase
relating
this. That's not
women
my
to being
question.
children.
I'm
Right,
saying
exactly.
no. Well, it's really
definitely
a
not.
relatable topic. Women tend to be similar to children, is what I'm pretty
David,
much what I'm
you
saying.
do a
in
really good
certain
job
aspects.
of invoking emotion and
No,
stir it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And
No,
if you
no,
if
no.
the
You
condescending tone that you
shouldn't-
swear you don't have,
He's really good at
Oh,
it.
that you
y'all
have-
back to the beginning podcast.
No,
is because
while
y'all wrong.
you're while you're
Yeah.
calling
How's
us
it wrong? You're
children.
asking me an opinion.
This was a great
Hold on.
exchange.
If you ask
Exactly
an
what he wanted
opinion,
from
you
you.
cannot tell me I'm wrong. Period.
No.
If you ask me a question, I give you my
proved
opinion.
My
You
point.
can't say no.
So listen, you're actually
Okay.
proving my point here, right? So what I'm saying is that men are more pro women than women are
And he's going
because
to talk
if
to you
you
in a
want
nice and slow
Right.
voice so that you sound like a crazy bitch.
Right.
Okay,
Now
that's
I'm
great.
the
He sounds like
overly
a rational
emotional.
male.
Yeah, great. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You're the
Let me
crazy
finish
girl,
my
so-
sentence here, right? So what I'm saying is that men are more pro women
I'm gonna
than
let you
women
finish,
are.
but
just
I'm gonna let you
because-
finish, but
yeah, great. But and the facts is that what I'm stating here is because you said that we are pro woman because we want women for choice. We want women to have choice. I'm saying that's nonsensical because if you had a child, you wouldn't be wanting your kids. You would be like, wait, don't touch that stove. That's hot. What is that? What is that?
At the end of the day, you're talking about two separate things. I'm
No, that's
talking
not
about
two separate
adults that
things.
can make their own decisions.
And I
we
just
are
gotta
not
tell you-
talking about animals or children
Yeah.
or things that need to be protected because they don't know better.
You're assuming
Two
all men
different
want to
things.
So,
protect,
no,
and that is
it's-
not why a lot of men join the
it's an
military. I can promise
example.
you that. A
It's
lot
a
of men
bad
join the
example.
No, it's not a
military.
bad
It's a bad
example.
example.
I-
Hold on.
It's a very
It's a
fair
bad
example.
example that leads nothing but for us to say something that makes us look dumb.
No, wrong.
It is a push of the narrative that you want for us to agree with you, even though what we're saying has nothing to do with what you're saying.